the petition that was presented before this August House, which we processed, was on the rights of Banyarwanda who are born and raised in Uganda. But it was presented by an association of Abavandimwe. I am done with introduction.
Why don't you people listen to the report and then you'll react
My report, Right Honorable Speaker, has a rich background, problem statement, but and it is uploaded.
And I want to tell you people, you're talking about these people, they are here. They are watching at you. And you have representatives here in the House.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, they are here. They are there. Mr. Kashumba, can you stand up with your team? All of you. I even have one who is a voter in my area. Is there? That one there is my voter.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker,
thank you for coming.
Right Honorable Speaker, let me quickly present the report.
Yes.
Having given the background which is there, rich as it is, in their petition they had specific prayers. And these are that the relevant Committee of Parliament investigates the segregation and the violation of rights of the Banyarwanda in Uganda and makes a report, which we have done. That the House urges Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control and NIRA to issue national passports and identity cards to the Banyarwanda based on their recognition by the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as an indigenous tribe in Uganda. Prayer number 3, that a Munyarwanda be appointed as an immigration officer and supervisor to facilitate a fair interview process as opposed to being interviewed by a Mufumbira. 4, Right Honorable Speaker, I am presenting a petition, as it were. Their prayer number 4, that the alleged corruption at the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration be investigated. Honorable colleagues, this is the methodology that we followed to arrive at a report being presented before this August House. The committee, while considering this petition, sought to determine the alleged government infringement on the rights of the Banyarwanda who are born and raised in Uganda. And during the process, the committee held meetings with and received written memoranda from the following. 1, the Honorable Joseph Sewungu Gonzaga, MP, the Honorable Christine Kaya Nachimwero, MP, District Woman Representative Chiboga, the Minister of Internal Affairs.
Yes, there's a procedure, Madam.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, this issue being a sensitive one, wouldn't it be procedurally right that a minister responsible for this docket is asked by the Prime Minister to come here and be there when these issues are being tabled before this House? Because I don't think these are matters to be taken lightly. These are serious issues. If the Prime Minister can look for any of these ministers to be here so that we can move in a proper direction.
Prime Minister will handle. She's a super minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, I was reading the list of people we interviewed, people who submitted to us written memoranda. I had finished the above. So the National Registration and Identification Authority, the leadership and representative members of the Council of Abavandimwe, the honorable people who are in the gallery. We also listened from the leadership of Omubano Association. Umubano. Right Honorable Speaker, we also reviewed the following documents: the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, the Registration of Persons Act Cap 332, Uganda Citizenship and Immigration Control Act Cap 313, and the report of Uganda Constitutional Commission of 1993, very rich document, the Odoki report. We had our findings and recommendations. I beg that I answer each prayer as presented. Prayer number 1 was that the relevant committee of Parliament investigates the segregation and violation of the rights of the Banyarwanda in Uganda and makes a report. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the committee reviewed considerations for defining a Ugandan citizenship and citizen rights according to the Uganda 95 Constitution. Specifically, the committee based on the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda to establish who should be considered a citizen and the rights and obligations of a Ugandan citizen. According to Barrier, the report down there, to establish who should be considered a Ugandan citizen, the rights and obligations of a Ugandan citizen, I beg your pardon. According to Barrier, citizenship holds legal significance and is often used interchangeably with nationality. In Uganda's legal context, citizenship refers to every individual who was a citizen at the start of 1995 Constitution and remains so. In contrast, Professor Barrier suggests that nationality includes both legal and sociological dimensions. The committee noted that sociologically, nationality may represent a group of individuals with the same or similar ethnicity who share common ancestral roots, language, color, and culture. These individuals can belong to an ethnic group within a specific nation or across several nations, inhabiting a common geographic area and sharing collective culture, language, and beliefs. In this context, Uganda is inhabited by various nationalities, including the Banyarwanda. The committee is aware that Chapter 3 of the 1995 Constitution outlines the different categories for qualifying as a citizen of Uganda, including citizenship by birth, citizenship by registration, and citizenship by naturalization. The Constitution recognizes individuals born in Uganda and parentage as citizens by birth under Article 10A, and acknowledges the Banyarwanda community as an indigenous community in the third schedule of the same Constitution. Article 10 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda states that the following individuals shall be citizens of Uganda by birth. A, every person born in Uganda, one whose parents or grandparents is or was a member of any of the indigenous communities existing and residing within the borders of Uganda as at 1st day of February 1926, and set out in third schedule to the Constitution. And B, every person born in or outside Uganda, one of whose parents or grandparents was at the time of birth of that person a citizen of Uganda by birth. However, Right Honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, being born in Uganda, in a country, does not automatically make one a citizen. Specific conditions must be met. For example, having parents or grandparents with diplomatic or refugee status at the time of birth may disqualify an individual as provided for under Article 12 of the 1995 Constitution. Citizenship by birth is limited to those whose parents and grandparents belong to Uganda's indigenous communities and were residents of Uganda as of 1st February 1926, when the country borders were finalized. Therefore, the committee asserts that citizenship by birth in the Ugandan context was intended for individuals born in Uganda with traceable ancestry. The indigenous communities were listed in the third schedule of the Constitution as those present and residing within the borders as of 1st February 1926, to acknowledge their existence and rights. As such, citizenship by birth rights in Uganda depend on being recognized as part of an indigenous community listed in the Constitution. Ugandan citizenship has obligations, including renouncing all other citizenships for non-Ugandans seeking citizenship and demonstrating national loyalty. However, the committee noted that the Constitution classified Banyarwanda, a nationality, as a tribe or indigenous community in Uganda. In Rwanda, in the Republic of Rwanda, the known ethnicities include Bahutu, Batutsi, and Batwa, who together form the Banyarwanda community. The committee observed that given Uganda's long history of receiving and maintaining Rwandese refugees in the country between 1957 and 1960, who fled during the uprising that removed the Tutsi monarchy and hegemony brackets of Rwanda, many such Banyarwanda acquired citizenship through registration since they had overstayed in Uganda and assimilated with other indigenous Ugandan groups. However, classifying Banyarwanda community and recognizing them as an indigenous group was the genesis of the citizenship problem of Banyarwanda in Uganda. It potentially makes the entire nation of Rwanda an indigenous community in Uganda. Individuals from Rwanda can claim Ugandan citizenship based on the indigenous community recognized in the Ugandan Constitution. Yet, some Banyarwanda desiring the rights of Ugandan citizenship and those who wish to become Ugandan citizens still want to maintain their Rwandan identity because of their roots in Rwanda, raising questions about their loyalty. The committee opines that removing connotation of Rwanda in the Banyarwanda title would require a constitutional amendment so that the Banyarwanda can belong to their original tribes within Uganda's boundaries, which were carved out of Rwandan kingdom. Therefore, while the petitioners argue that Ugandan authorities are infringing on their citizenship rights concerning national IDs and passports, the Ministry of Internal Affairs explained to the committee that every applicant undergoes an interview to verify the facts detailed in the application forms, ensuring that all legal requirements are fulfilled. Since Banyarwanda born and raised in Uganda have fully integrated with the local community and no longer speak Kinyarwanda, despite having names of Rwandan origin, this makes it challenging to determine their Ugandan identity based on their Rwandan ethnicity. Therefore, if there is uncertainty about information provided by the applicant during interview, the responsibility to demonstrate eligibility for Ugandan citizenship rests with the applicants themselves. Based on the above analysis, the committee observes that the alleged segregation and infringement on the rights of the Banyarwanda, including challenges to their citizenship, passport denials, and confiscated national IDs, arise from the dispute on whether all Banyarwanda are indigenous to Uganda. The timeline of events and the historical background regarding their classification as Banyarwanda in the Constitution will perpetuate the debate over who genuinely qualifies as a Munyarwanda residing within Ugandan borders as of February 1st, 1926. The current sieving process, and legal framework is comprehensive in dealing with applicants for national IDs and passports. Ministry of Internal Affairs is obliged to issue identity cards and passports to those who qualify for Ugandan citizenship according to Uganda's laws. Thus, applicants for national identity card or passport must prove their identity as Ugandan citizens as they assert. Consequently, each application is evaluated individually based on the provisions of the Constitution. The applicant's biographical details in the application are assessed against legal criteria, leading to a conclusion based on a balance of probabilities. The committee, therefore, recommends that 1. Indigenous communities in the 1995 Constitution should be determined based on their ethnicity and ancestral criteria. Banyarwanda, who cannot trace their ancestral lineage but have lived in Uganda since birth, should seek alternative forms of Ugandan citizenship of naturalization or registration as outlined by the law. Prayer number 2, that the House urges Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control and NIRA to issue national passports and identity cards to the Banyarwanda based on their recognition by the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as a tribe in Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, during the petition's consideration, the Banyarwanda alleged that the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control and NIRA infringed upon their rights by denying them passports and national IDs, claiming they could prove their citizenship. The committee noted that rights and privileges under Chapter 4 of the 1995 Constitution accrue to all categories of citizenship. Therefore, the primary concern for the DCIC and NIRA is to ensure that individuals are correctly identified and placed in the appropriate citizenship category to identify and issue passports and national IDs. The ministry informed the committee that officers are instructed to evaluate whether a person is a citizen of Uganda by birth based on the constitutional provisions and related laws. Each case is examined individually to ascertain if the applicant fits the defined categories. During the process, some affected Banyarwanda are directed to apply for naturalized citizenship and renounce their Rwandan citizenship before obtaining Ugandan travel documents or national IDs. As at the meeting date, NIRA reported to the committee that statistics of those Banyarwanda whose citizenship status is still under review are detailed in Table 1. The ministry further revealed that the classic examples of the individuals mentioned in the petition did not provide specific details to determine the extent of the facts relating to segregation and violation of rights. However, through DCIC, the ministry responded with information on the status of each of the cases mentioned in the petition. And these are elaborated in Figure 1, part of this report. And it can be forwarded. It's part of the report. Drawing from the above, the committee observes that 1, a large number of applicants for national identity cards who received a notification to cancel their registration was based on inaccurate information or fraudulent registration. 2, that the lack of a national ID severely affects the livelihood of the affected Banyarwanda, as they cannot transact with banks, enroll in school, or obtain necessary SIM cards, among other things. Additionally, those with expired passports studying or working abroad have been denied renewal, forcing them to abandon their jobs and education. However, the petitioners did not present any proof of these allegations to the committee. The ministry issues national identity cards and passports to eligible Ugandan citizens in accordance with the Constitution, adhering to strict criteria for determining citizenship and passport or ID eligibility. Individual applicants must submit personal information which undergoes assessment based on legal standards. All Ugandan applicants, including the Banyarwanda community, recognized as indigenous in Uganda, in Ugandan national ID or passport, those who do not fulfill the citizenship requirements specified in Article 10 of the 1995 Constitution are encouraged to consider naturalization or registration procedures. Under Section 57(1) of the Registration of Persons Act, Cap 332, the NIRA can cancel registration after notifying the individual to show cause against the registration. The committee therefore recommends that 1. All aggrieved Banyarwanda should pursue the dispute resolution process outlined in the Section 83 of the Registration of Persons Act, Cap 332, and Section 10 of the Ugandan Citizenship and Immigration Control Act, Cap 313, if they are unsatisfied with the decision made by NIRA and the DCIC respectively. NIRA has set up an internal citizenship verification committee to handle such cases. The committee is responsible for the investigating claims of citizenship by birth and providing recommendations to the management regarding whether an individual's registration should be upheld or revoked. On the other hand, the ministry has a National Citizenship and Immigration Board to address complaints. Still, if the affected does not find redress with the board, he or she can appeal to the minister. If the applicant is still aggrieved, he or she may appeal to the High Court of Uganda. 2, the Ministry of Internal Affairs should increase awareness and educate all citizens, including Banyarwanda, about their citizenship rights and obligations. This table, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, includes responses to the complaints contained in the petition of the Council of Avandime. The petition presented names to convince the committee that those were the ones denied IDs, every name presented. And details are contained here. Prayer number 3. The response was that each one was denied because they either had entered the Republic of Uganda with a Rwandese national ID, which was in the system. Specific names that are here were denied because Director of Citizenship Immigration presented to the committee evidence on each and every name submitted. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, prayer number 3 of the petition was that a Munyarwanda be appointed as immigration officer and supervisor to facilitate a fair interview process as opposed to being interviewed by a Mufumbira. The petition has informed the committee that during passport application process,
Honorable members, can you listen?
Petition has informed the committee that during the passport application interviews, applicants are interviewed by immigration officers from their respective tribes. However, Banyarwanda applicants are interviewed by a Mufumbira tribe immigration officer, even when he or she may not fully comprehend the Chinyarwanda language due to the heavy influence of Ruchiga on the Bufumbira Chinyarwanda dialect. The ministry informed the committee, honorable colleagues, that the recruitment of immigration officers who interview applicants for passports is carried out in accordance with the laws that govern recruitment of public service in Uganda, prioritizing qualifications, skills, and competency over tribal affiliations. The committee believes that the ministry appreciates that many indigenous applicants might not be proficient in English. Also, Officers must comprehend the relevant local languages to assess an applicant's connection to an indigenous group accurately. Therefore, the committee asserts that the ministry's administrative recruitment strategies are thoughtful and culturally sensitive, ensuring that the selection of qualified individuals suited for the immigration officer role are followed. Prayer number 4, alleged corruption at the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control to be investigated. The petitioners informed the committee that during the process of applying for passports, the immigration officials at DCIC had allegedly made it a norm to extort bribes ranging from Uganda's 10 to 15 million from the Banyarwanda applicants under the pretext of granting them passports. The ministry informed the committee that applying for passports is now robust and has significantly reduced opportunities for bribe solicitation. Applicants must visit the DCIC passport portal and answer security questions. After this, one can print the payment advice form and use it to pay the fee at their chosen bank. Once paid, one can schedule an appointment through DCIC homepage link, print the appointment form, and visit the passport center with the form and required documents. Ordinary passports are charged 250 with an additional 150 for express processing, payable at the bank separately. Therefore, the committee found this automated process exhaustive and capable of minimizing personal contact, which may often lead to bribery. The committee thus tasked the petitioners to adduce evidence of the allegations to facilitate clear direction for investigations to be initiated, to no avail. Accordingly, the corruption allegations in the petition could not be sustained. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, conclusion. The committee reviewed the petition and makes recommendations for Parliament. It concluded that the classification of the Banyarwanda, a nationality, as an indigenous tribe, confuses their citizenship rights in Uganda. As such, the Ministry of Internal Affairs must ensure that national IDs and passport applications are highly scrutinized to ensure that applicants prove eligibility if uncertainties arise. Indigenous communities must be recognized by their ethnic lineage. The Banyarwanda, who cannot trace lineage, should seek alternative Ugandan citizenship and use legal processes if they disagree with NIRA and DCIC decisions. The Ministry of Internal Affairs should educate all citizens, including the Banyarwanda, on their rights and responsibilities. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, I beg to report.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chair. And what the Chair is reporting borders to Article 43C of the Constitution. Could we first hear from the Minister?
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I want to inform members of this August House that the President met the group that is talking about Bavandimwe and these others on 25th October this year. He briefed Cabinet on 28th October, and Right Honorable Speaker, a number of things are being done. And I want to promise members that government is doing a lot to make sure that this is solved. Thank you so much.
So what do you want to, what is that you didn't present in the committee? Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members, the minister is saying, I wish you could sit. It is, honorable members, person to implement is government. Okay?
Right,
No.
Right, Honorable.
Until you all sit down.
Right, Honorable.
Until you all sit down. Honorable members, this is a very sensitive matter for you people to discuss. No. It is a very sensitive matter. You're even going to chase away people from Uganda. Eh? Why don't you listen? Why don't you listen? If you're not going to sit it down, honorable members, this report is, we want action. Prime Minister, we want action from you. We are adopting this report. But when you make noise, sit down.
Rwanda, which is incorrect. The citizens of Rwanda are Rwandans. And we should,
that is okay.
We should collect that
Thank
on
you.
our answer.
That one should be corrected in.
So much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm a granddaughter of BANYARWANDA. Those are my mothers. Allow me amend and add one or other resolution. I don't go into the merits. I can realize your fears. Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
The prayer number 2.
Respect the person on the floor. Respect the person holding the floor.
Right. Prayer number 2 is about there's so many difficulties people are encountering at NERA. And then the resolutions and the recommendations have been made on insufficiency of evidence that was taken before them. But it does not mean that people are not finding a lot of difficulties. So we would like to urge the ministry, NERA, and that they take care of interests of indigenous Banyarwanda that have been in the country, not to be denied by official documents. That's the national ID and the passport. That recommendation, I really take care of your fears.
Ajat, that is operation, that is generic. Even just Ugandans who are known to be Ugandans, you must prove that you're Ugandan, you're coming from this area. That's generic. That's operational. That one should not be in the...
Earlier came to this parliament and put it to the Minister Internal Affairs that actually Banyarwanda, we have find it extremely difficult to access passports. I told him that I have cousins and personal relatives that are forced into a naturalization process. Now, you cannot denounce what you have never been. People that had never been to Rwanda and have never assumed the Rwandan nationality cannot be forced to denounce a nationality that they have never belonged to.
They only have the passports. Government has committed itself on that. Yes.
Right, Honorable.
Honorable members.
And having attentively also listened to your guidance and the response of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, indicating to this House that on the 25th of October, His Excellency the President met the group that had petitioned Parliament, whose report has been presented on the floor. He even committed that he will solve this issue. And also looking at the fact that The matter involves the names of two countries, Uganda. When you talk about Rwandese, you're talking about Rwanda. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move a motion without notice under our rules of procedure that the report of the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs be adopted by this Parliament with the amendment made through the correction. I beg to move.
Honorable members, the Prime Minister made a commitment that is an executive action being taken. Can you sit? That there is an executive action being taken by government. It was discussed in the cabinet and actions are being taken already. So we will not adopt the report because the other one supersedes the report of today. So we want to thank you. We will wait for your response. We will wait for the response from the minister on the actions that have been taken. Next item.
The World AIDS Day. Item 8 on the order.
Here, government has taken it up to make a follow-up on what you raised in the report. That is what is happening. It has already been discussed and it is taking it up itself.
Speaker, thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the government through the Speaker. The issue is now about time frame because as we are talking, these people want passports. They want their documents and they don't have IDs. So I would seek your indulgence through the Madam Speaker to know the time frame that would solve, report back to Parliament. Thank you.
Point of order.
Are you ordering it?
Right, Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Chofa in order to cross the front row?
Honourable members, I want my people to leave. Let the Prime Minister first commit, and I have my people leave.
Prime Minister does come. Honorable Speaker, preponderant doctrine. Parliament has got its modus operandi. The executive is a separate arm of government. I thought, Honorable Speaker, that it would be prudent for us as Parliament to execute our mandate. Because there's a committee report, let's do what we want with it. As Parliament, we can even say we have thrown out the report or that we are adopting the report, whatever the case might be. But the executive should also do its work. I am not too sure when we abdicate our responsibility as Parliament, because there's a petition that came, it was processed by a committee, and it has come to us. Honorable Speaker, I would think that we neatly finish our job as Parliament and let the executive also execute its mandate, but that there be no fusion. For us, we should neatly, in my view, we neatly finish our job. We have a committee report before us. Let's process it, deal with it as we deem fit. And I'm finishing, Honorable Minister.
I'm on a point of procedure.
Come again?
He's on procedure.
I raised on procedure. You were not attentive, Honorable Minister. Let me finish my point of procedure. Let me finish my point of procedure, then you will come.
Okay.
Calm down, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Loeb.
So, but I was saying, if we could finish neatly as Parliament, then the executive, whether it be out of that committee report or whatever the case might be, does its job too. Thank you.
Respect the separation of powers, but we complement each other because this involves the multi-sectoral approach. If the owner of the sponsor is in agreement with us, is in agreement, yes. You are not the sponsor. You give the sponsor.
But he's seated in front here, very irregular here, but he's causing problems. No. Madam Speaker and our members, Madam Prime Minister, you see, the Speaker was saying that we adopted the report. And once you adopt a report with the challenges in it that we are going to cause a debate, you as the Prime Minister came out and you gave evidence that our team, our group met Genome 7 in State House, as you stated. But even the name is okay, it's on record. So, once you gave that, I am against adopting a report that is challengeable on the floor. I can assure you that. So, that's why I asked for time frame. Because at the end of the day, this report will suffice in Parliament. In case you don't meet the required time over the
Thank you very much, Right Honorable
There's a
Speaker,
procedure matter.
that the report of the committee be adopted. You asked whether, I heard the government chief whip, and you asked whether the motion was seconded. And it was seconded.
I didn't. I didn't.
It was seconded.
No. Doctor, I said seeds. The statement of what was presented in the report. Just give us the timeline.
I want members to believe in government. One of the reasons being that the team that brought a petition here already met the president, like I said. On 28th of October, the president briefed cabinet and guided, and the issues are being acted on by the ministry. I am now giving a time frame. Honorable Speaker, I beg that government be given 2 months to act on this.
Thank you. And keep giving us updates. Keep giving us updates on how far next.
Item 8 on the order paper to 5th December 2024.
Honorable Prime Minister.
These factories were to be constructed in the districts of Buyende and Luka, 2021. However, to date, no construction has taken place. Rather, there has been a back and forth by Uganda Development Corporation, despite the release of more than 8 billion shillings for the purchase of land. The other finding was about delayed payments. Many millers delayed to make payments to farmers, leaving them cash-strapped. Farmers reported that at times, they would wait for up to 6 months for their payments. The other is recovery cost. The millers charge the sugarcane farmers that supply cane 9% per ton as recovery cost for the milling of the cane. The other finding, Right Honorable Speaker, was to do with VAT charge. These sugarcane farmers told us that they are charged 18% VAT on the sugarcane, which is not in tandem with the tax laws of Uganda. VAT is charged on finished products, not raw materials. That's why it is referred to as value-added tax. What is even more bothersome is that it is doubtful that the millers who collect this money eventually remit the same to Uganda Revenue Authority. The other was formula for pricing of sugar. Price of sugarcane is calculated based on only one byproduct, that is sugar. And yet there are many other byproducts from sugarcane. Some of the social and infrastructure issues that we discovered, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. One was limited access to inputs. Farmers struggle to afford fertilizers, pesticides, and high-quality seedlings. The other was poor infrastructure. Poor roads delay transportation of harvested cane to mills, leading to losses in weight and quality. Non-provision of agricultural subsidies. The sugarcane farmers reported not to be receiving any agricultural inputs or subsidies from the government through NADS, like it is with other farmers. Inadequate farmer representation. The farmers report inadequate support from cooperatives or unions to advocate for better conditions. Honorable Speaker, we have crafted some recommendations for government. One is to do with pricing. Our economy was liberalized, meaning that forces of demand and supply will always be at play. However,
this does not take away government's role to regulate and ensure that people are not ripped off, and specifically, in this case, to ensure that sugarcane farmers earn a fair income from their toil. 2, fast-tracking the fulfillment of the presidential pledge. Government through UDC should fast-track the purchase of the land that was identified in Luka district to pave way for construction of the promised sugar factory to be owned by the farmers, as a way of empowering them, as was promised. Timely payments. Ministry of Trade should take interest in this matter of delayed payments to farmers, and perhaps even set a minimum period for payment of farmers for the supplied sugarcane. The other recommendations are to do with farmer empowerment. One is about strengthening cooperatives, and we're saying government should aim to support sugarcane farmers' cooperatives so as to negotiate better with millers, better terms with millers, and to access bulk purchases of inputs. Calibration of way bridges, which is another complaint that these farmers put to us. Uganda National Bureau of Standards should ensure that the way bridges are accurately calibrated and periodically monitored to address the issue of way bridges that are cheating farmers of the tonnage of sugarcane, because they complained of being cheated by these way bridges. Then formula for pricing. Pricing of sugarcane should be calculated based on at least 5 major byproducts of sugarcane, such as molasses, ethanol, spirits, bagasse, among others, as compared to the current status of the price being based on only one byproduct, which is sugar. Yet the other byproducts fetch a lot of revenue too. The last one, which is non-charge of VAT, the millers should stop deducting VAT from the farmers paid out to sugarcane farmers, from the money paid out to sugarcane farmers for the sugarcane supplied, because value has not been added yet to the sugarcane. They are raw materials. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, sugarcane farming in Busoga, and indeed other parts of the country, because it's not only in Busoga that sugarcane is grown, this farming faces significant challenges that undermine its sustainability and profitability. Addressing these issues requires a multi-stakeholder approach, including government intervention, farmer empowerment, and private sector accountability. Implementing these recommendations will ensure a more resilient and profitable sugarcane industry. Honorable Speaker, my hope is that government will respond to these issues and address the concerns of sugarcane farmers, not just in Busoga, but other areas. It's Busoga which we visited, so that they can profit from their toil. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Love, I request next time a report where we shall ask for action taken of your findings. Because when you bring it like this, you don't have the latitude to ask for what action has government taken on this. So you need to, the next visit you bring it as a report.
Procedure.
Yes.
The LOPS report is that
He's
the LOPS
statement. He's giving
yes.
us information.
Yes.
It
is that
not for debate.
Correct. You received a petition from the sugarcane producers. You directed it to the Committee of Trade, Industries and Tourism, and that committee. We've been meeting with the stakeholders, and the report is actually coming to the conclusion, a debate thereafter, because your committee, we are still on it, and it is nearing completion.
It is a very good statement. So you can enrich your committee's report with the LOPS statement.
Honorable Speaker, I do appreciate your guidance. This is a report from the oversight visit that we did carry out. And when we carry out these oversight visits, because our responsibility, my legal responsibility as leader of the opposition is to keep the government in check. It's for the good, for government to do better, to work on the areas that we do point out as critical areas of concern. And now that you've, with your permission, been able to present this report on the floor, it would be good that government does respond to these issues. It's good for you. We are like a thermometer that tells you this is the reading of your temperature. Do something about it. So when we went to Busoga and interacted with sugarcane farmers, that's the reading of that thermometer. They have all these complaints, and it's important that as government you do address these concerns and give us feedback on the same. Thank you for your guidance. Right.
Next time you bring it under Rule 35 so that we designate a debate for it and we seek for actions taken under each issue that has been raised. Next item.
Item 3.
National Day for Elimination of Violence against women and men, and it ends on the 10th, Human Rights Day. This commemoration is important for accountability for steps that have been taken to eliminate gender-based violence. As you are aware, it's a big challenge in society for which we require to concentrate our in this gender-based violence, and as I said before, the boy endangered. It's not all about the girl child. I now invite the minister to present her labor, gender, labor, and social development.
Thank you. I wish to notify you that the purpose of this statement is to brief